live streamed worship service. My name's Brian O'Leary, and I'm the worship associate this morning. This morning, we're observing Rosh Hashanah, the celebration of the Jewish New Year, and the first of the high holidays, a 10-day period that ends with Yom Kippur. Our service will be led by our inspirational minister, Kent Matthias. You will also hear wonderful music from our excellent team of Mark Doherty, Beverly Gross Spencer, Bob Heffley, Shubham Relpak, joined for two pieces by our new intern minister, Latifa Griffin. Working behind the curtain to help the service run smoothly are Jessica Stanforth, Trevor Berger, Lisa Dutton, Carolyn Scott, and Celeste Lamb. Before we begin our service, we do have a few announcements. Visitors and returning guests, we're glad to see you, as well as regular members and friends. For more information about our congregation and programs, please email the welcoming team at welcoming@usguu.org. Also, please make sure to display name in Zoom as respectful and accurately reflects your identity. If you don't know how to rename yourself, please call 215-844-1157. We're glad you're here and we want to know who you are. If you or someone you know has experienced hardships, please reach out to us. USG can help, whether it be financially or socially. Contact any member of our staff or caring team. So here are a few activities that are coming up, and remember to look in the chat for the links. At 12 today, you can join a Zoom meeting of UU 101 and learn about this faith by emailing us now at uu101@usguu.org. At 2, we invite you to engage the Blue Box, a treasure chest of readings, meditations, and histories of Black lives of this faith. At 4, Black folks can enjoy a Blue Theology worship service by, for, and about the Black diaspora. And at 5 this evening, you can participate in our Sunday Breathe Meditation Mindfulness class. On Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, USG offers virtual voter engagement opportunities. Join others in text banks and phone banks to rock the vote. And on Monday through Friday, we physically stand in solidarity with racial justice outside the church on Lincoln Drive. You may have recently seen the Inquirer piece about this. Stay tuned for coloring pages. They're going to appear in chat. And before we turn our attention to our worship service, we're going to hear a brief announcement from Esther Weiss-Flam about a special retreat for women.
I'm Esther Weiss-Flam. And some of you might know me. Some of you might know me through the yoga classes I teach and make available to USG on Friday and Saturday mornings. I just briefly wanted us to take a break and take this moment to feel your breath in the body. You're here in your home, in your space. And then exhale it out. It's important that we take breaths together. I'm here to invite you to join us this coming Friday and Saturday morning as we gather for the Fall Equinox Retreat for women. The focus is to tend our courageous heart, something that we most definitely need after another tough week in the continuing saga of 2020. And as we mourn the loss of a true beacon of light for women, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. USG is sponsoring this event through the Center for Mindfulness. We will guide you through gentle and accessible mind-body practices to relieve anxiety and open up the heart center during this time of uncertainty. I will be co-leading this event with Adrienne Dolbury, a fabulous teacher specializing in mind-body healing for stress relief and trauma. With all that we are going through, this truly is a time to show up for yourself in virtual community and contribute to your own and others' well-being. Please come, Sign up by going to the USG events page online. The link has also been posted in your chat. Thank you.
Good Yontif, or good holiday to you. On Friday evening, Jews everywhere mark the start of what has come to be known as the High Holidays. Today is the second day of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. I'm holding a shofar, an ancient musical instrument used for Jewish religious purposes. It's typically made of a ram's horn. The shofar is blown in synagogue services on Rosh Hashanah and at the end of Yom Kippur to mark the end of a day of fasting. Like the modern bugle, the shofar lacks pitch-altering devices, so any pitch changes are done by varying what I do with my mouth. Here goes. Lashana Tova, a sweet new year to you.
We light the chalice, the symbol of our faith and community, with the following quote from Rabbi Israel Salanter. One night, Rabbi Salanter was walking home past the home of a shoemaker. Despite it being very late, he observed the shoemaker was still busy, working by the light of a single candle. Why are you still working? Rabbi Salanter asked him. It is very late and soon the candle will go out. The shoemaker replied, as long as the candle is still burning, it is still possible to accomplish and to mend shoes. This inspired Rabbi Salanter to observe, as long as the candle is burning, it is still possible to accomplish and to mend. In this upcoming new year, as long as our candles are burning, we must remember we have the power to accomplish much together, to mend what has been broken, and to make our world stronger than it was before. In this troubling world where everything seems topsy-turvy and one thing after another comes hurtling towards us, it can be difficult at times to find solace and peace. And we're blessed to be able to turn to each other in our times of need as we celebrate Rosh Hashanah in the new year. In our broader community, we hold in the light everyone affected by the forest fires and flooding, those struggling with the COVID pandemic and economic downturn, all who encounter injustice and racism, and people around the world who are harmed by violence, whether man-made or natural. Remember Ruth Bader Ginsburg as a strong and powerful voice for equality and fair treatment of all. In our church community, we wrap our love around all those with concerns or sorrows. And our thoughts and prayers are with Susan Bacchius and Gail Mershon. We celebrate gladly all those with joys, and we acknowledge the deep satisfaction that can be found in everyday life. If you're struggling or concerned about the way our world is going, know that you are loved and supported as we hold you gently in our hearts.
Good morning, USG family. What a blessing we have to gather with people around the globe mindfully in the sacred marking of the Jewish High Holy Days, in this High Holy Days like no other during pandemic, as I've heard many Jewish friends say. Very unique and in many ways extra special. As a part of our celebration today, we'll have a hymn, a song that we'll sing twice, where you're invited in both times meditatively to participate, singing along with the three choir leaders, singing, "We forgive ourselves and each other, we begin again in love." So I invite you to, as Esther said so beautifully, breathe in and breathe out and feel your body and engage in that practice, knowing we are connected to our fellow human beings around the globe. I invite us all to participate in a responsive reading at this time. And as a congregation, I invite you to read the purple italicized words. I'll have, how about Patty and Brian's mic is open so that they can give voice to the congregational response. And we'll just have folks reading from home in the purple. Once more, Atonement Day has come.
All pretense gone, naked heart revealed to the hiding self.
Oops, my screen is blocking. We stand on holy ground between the day that was and the one that must be.
We tremble. At what did we aim?
How did we stumble? What did we take?
What did we give? To what were we blind?
Last year's confession came easily to the lips.
Will this year's come from deeper than the skin?
Say then, why are our paths strewn with promises like fallen leaves?
Say then, when shall our lust be for wisdom?
Say now.
Love and truth shall meet, justice and peace shall embrace.
For remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference. each time we have struck out in anger without just cause. For each time that our greed has blinded us to the needs of others. For the selfishness that sets us apart and alone. For falling short of the admonitions of the Spirit. For losing sight of our unity. For those and for so many acts, both evident and subtle, which have fueled the illusion of separateness.
It's a dream I have visited many times. I watch myself off in the distance riding an old wooden roller coaster. I'm alone in the car, just finishing the down dip, and now slowly climbing the incline. It's not clear as to whether the roller coaster I'm in will have the oomph to make it up to the top of this incline. Might stall out and start rolling backwards downhill. The same dream scene repeats without conclusion as to whether I will make it over the hump. Over the last 6 months, I've had the same dream countless times, and I interpret the dream simply as manifestation of my base level concern during these days of crisis that I will not be able to make it through on any given situation, including the most daily mundane stressors, which can be so difficult for so many of us during COVID. I need the Jewish New Year to help me begin again in love. How about you? How about you? Friday night at sundown, Rosh Hashanah began last night around the globe. Many Rosh Hashanah dinners were held, some as many as possible outside. Masks. Here we are. Loving hands open the ark and gently remove the Torah scrolls. Trusted leaders read the sacred texts.
The Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did to Sarah as he had promised. And Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age at the time of which God had spoken to him. Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, who Sarah bore him, Isaac.
Our souls know we're being guided by sacred tradition for us to reveal more of who we are and who we can become. We're in the midst of these days of awe. Next Sunday night, as Mark said, commences Yom Kippur, Day of Atonement. These holy days in their entirety emphasize the opportunity and the need for each individual to pause, to breathe, take account of how we are living. During this time, one focuses on doing mitzvah. Mitzvah can be thought of as good deeds done from duty or command. The Torah contains 613 mitzvah, most famous being the 10 Commandments. Doing mitzvah requires a commitment to doing the right thing, the next right thing in many cases. So if you're right now tired of struggling to build stability, where there's just not enough stability, or protecting your turf, these days of awe open you to possibly just doing the next right thing as a path of renewal, of beginning again right in this moment with love and doing the right mitzvah. The next right thing could be engaging higher level of self-care. The ancient New Year tradition helps us consider how we respond when people fall short. Jewish high holidays help us realize that we can all play three roles in the drama of life. First, we've all been wronged. Second, we've all done wrong. And third, we all have the ability to help move things forward in atonement. This endeavor can involve apologizing or forgiving. This endeavor can involve ending hurtful behavior. This Friday, a sister congregation, Jewish congregation, Panay Or, will join us at our Black Lives Matter vigil, very explicitly decided as a part of Yom Kippur, as a part of atonement. And I'm sorry for the role a lot of us have played in white privilege and racism and helping us move forward. During this time, personally, if you've been experiencing doubts, have you been experiencing doubts as to if you have enough horsepower to get up the hill in front of you on any given day? Are you in need of beginning again in love? If you're feeling discouraged or depressed by a relationship in your life that you have no control over, can you put down that extra burden of regret and begin your journey again right now in love? The roots of our UU living tradition are nourished by this Jewish tradition where we can engage these tools of doing mitzvah, engaging in I'm sorry and I forgive you in deep, meaningful ways. And it can be, we pause every year at this time. It's like a 3,000-mile spiritual tune-up that we do in beloved community. This is balm for our souls, because we know living a life burdened with resentments burns out our spiritual engines. Can anybody in this gathered community honestly say they haven't struggled with grudges or grievances that limit their capacity to begin again in the moment with love? We need this together. parents at home working, helping their children engage in school virtually. And get this new year comes so beautifully at the right time. We can engage with beginner's mind, begin the year new now. Help us realize we're in a living laboratory of life all the time, including before COVID. This is helping us realize that we don't have as much stability as we previously perceived or wished, but with the tools of the Jewish High Holiday, we can just kind of ride the waves of life together. We don't control the ocean. Yesterday, we had the deep honor of celebrating the life of Rebecca Blum, daughter of our beloved member and leader, Susan Bacchius. There's a picture of Rebecca and lovely flowers made by her family. By hand, this bouquet was made by family and sit in our sanctuary now. They came yesterday for the memorial. In the grieving, in the deepest, hardest grieving of loss in life, we can think about how we can do the next right thing, engage in atonement, and just begin this moment, whatever the grieving needs. Each person's grieving needs different things all the time, but each person in grieving can begin again in love for themselves, for others. I declare this new year that I am profoundly in touch with a standing grievance I have with myself. During the last major election cycle, I did not make enough effort to mobilize voters in Pennsylvania. And what happened in Pennsylvania last time should have never happened, with so many people feeling that their vote didn't matter. That's my opinion. And I have been mad at myself ever since for not having done enough to engage neighbors and friends in the neighborhoods in dialogue, trying to get out the vote. But here we are in the moment, and I can begin again in love, and I am beginning again in love, and trying to forgive myself. I have not forgiven myself for what I didn't do. I don't think that I ran the election, but I know I didn't do enough in 16. I'm just talking about Kent. And with many of you right now with power, and with you the vote, we are doing mitzvah right now by dedicating a major part of our next 43 days. I am dedicating a major part of the next 43 days to getting out the vote in PA. We're doing this. You saw we have get out the vote calling times on Tuesdays and Thursdays with our sister groups. You can be empowered to, many of you are doing the postcards, you're doing it. We're making efforts to empower democracy in an election cycle. And if you haven't started, or if you've been doing it for 2 years, I know people have been working on this election cycle for 2 years and they're very impressive, but we all have today forward. Join the efforts. This is a part of mitzvah and beginning again in love. It's real. It matters. Atonement at one mint is coming back into our unity with God, with each other, and with ourselves. Being a unity with ourselves, it helps us experience renewal. Being a unity with ourselves, with each other, and with God helps us at any specific moment to begin again in love. Let us sing.
For remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible. For each time we have struck out in anger without just cause. For each time that our greed has blinded us to the needs of others. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again. For the selfishness that sets us apart and alone. For falling short of the admonitions of the Spirit. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again. For losing sight of our unity. So many acts, both evident and subtle, which have fueled the illusion of separateness.
This church and congregation are places of love, giving, and community where we support each other in our times of need. Please be as generous as you can to support this congregation and community.
Return to the home of your
closing words come from Chaim Stern in a book called Gates of Repentance. And Rabbi Stern also authored the words we used in our responsive reading earlier. O source of peace, lead us to peace, a peace profound and true. Lead us to a healing, to mastery of all that drives us into war within ourselves and with others. May our deeds inscribe us in the book of life and blessing, righteousness and peace. O source of peace, bless us with peace.
We're very glad that you have joined us this morning for this special Rosh Hashanah New Year celebration. We'll now extinguish the chalice as we return to our lives of community and service. All are invited to linger for fellowship in the breakout rooms. You don't need to do anything, but wait for the Zoom room manager to whisk you into one. I think there'll be a short video first. And blessings to you in the coming week. Happy New Year. Shana Tova. Now please pass the virtual piece to your neighbors.